I want to do a little more on ties. Here you can see that they are simple, but they're not to be taken for granted in your notation. Ties to enharmonics require adjustment. The ties must be adjusted to avoid collision with accidentals, because while I don't recommend this situation if you're a composer, this does come up sometimes where you have to tie an E flat to a D sharp. So this shows how to do it, and the endpoints have to be moved so that they will not collide with accidentals. With a dot, ties point to the note head inside the dot where feasible. So you see what I mean by inside the dot? The very tip of this tie is coming past the dot next to the note head. And you'll notice here that a short tie will fall within a space. These fall within a space. These fall within a space. And a tie may cross the end of a flag sometimes. But avoid crossing a flag if possible, such as in this case, where it's just extended. A long tie may cross a staff line, as it does here, and I've already showed that in a couple of other situations over here. But again, a short tie on a single note should be in a space. And complex situations require creative solutions, but you need to stick to the basic principles, which right here is what I'm showing. This actually occurs in a Rachmaninoff piano work where you have a chord tied and then you have eighth notes in between, which the second of the two eighths is tied. So you have a lot of situations here that have to be adjusted. First of all, this upper note here, this tie had to be moved up because the tie on the next note, the C here, had to be exaggerated so that it would not cross through that note. These ties, these other ties, follow the rules. They point to the inside of the note and they fall within a space. And you have to be very careful because your software is not going to handle this properly. And again, you don't want the ties to fall on a line or on a beam for that matter. In this case, I think these beams here had to be extended so that the beam would not pass through that lower tie. The arc of a tie may be greater than a third in exceptional cases, or if it is a long tie. So here is an exceptional case where the arc is greater than a third because you don't want the arc passing through that note head. Here are some other situations showing that you will just have to manually adjust these ties to look like they're supposed to and point to where they're supposed to, because your software is not going to handle that. When you have a let vibrate situation, you should use short ties and they should fall within the space. Here the ties should be aligned outside of the dot or beyond the dot.